I'm gonna say something to you. All right, I'm gonna say this just one more time. Make it clear, so don't ask me again. Today, you got one drink coming from the county budget.
Great, iconic sidekicks in westerns. One reason our beloved western stars were able to do their job so well was because of those who starred with and around them. Today we will look at some of the sidekicks that supported and helped make what may have been an ordinary movie become a better and fuller experience. Clearly these are but some of the iconic sidekicks. Let me know your favourites, as I will be making a follow-up video. If you enjoy this video, hit the notification button to get my new videos. If you want to check out my many other videos, head over to my channel. The link is in the description. Please take a moment to like and subscribe to the channel as well. I appreciate it. Let's get into it in no particular order. Ward Bond as Reverend Captain Samuel Johnston, The Searchers, 1956. Bond was one of John Wayne's closest friends and a member of John Ford's stable of regular actors. The Reverend Captain Samuel Johnston fought alongside John Wayne in the search for Wayne's abducted niece, Natalie Wood, by Indians, one of the most famous westerns of all time. Morgan Freeman as Ned Logan, Unforgiven, 1992. Freeman, the veteran actor, has played many supporting characters throughout his long career. Ned Logan in Unforgiven is one of his best. When he was young, Ned was a bounty hunter with his friend Will Money, Clint Eastwood. Now living as a farmer, when Will decides to accept one last job that involves avenging an assaulted prostitute, Ned of course joins in. Ned has no financial difficulties. It would be understood if he had turned down the job, but as he is a good friend, he avails himself. He also likes working with Will. That alone is enough reason. I can still knock the eye out of a flying bird, he says, reminding that his skills are still as sharp as always. He goes on to prove these words with actions throughout the film. Kevin Costner as Charlie Waite in Open Range, 2003. A western film directed and co-produced by Kevin Costner, based on the novel The Open Range Men by Laura Payne, starring Robert Duvall and Costner, with Annette Bening, Michael Gambon, and Michael Jetta in supporting roles. The film was a box office success and was critically praised. In Montana in 1882, Boss Spearman is a seasoned open-range cattleman who, with hired hands Charlie Waite, Mose, and Button, is driving a herd cross-country. Charlie is a former Union soldier who served in a special squad during the Civil War and feels immense guilt over his past as a killer of both enemy soldiers and civilians. Originally, Touchstone Pictures had Kevin Costner top billed over Robert Duvall, but Costner asked the studio to top bill Duvall instead.
It's been a while since I was in a fight. I panicked. Fell back like I broke my foot. Ornery old fool. Well, that damn Cuba cigar got me riled up.
Tommy Lee Jones as Woodrow F. Call in Lonesome Dove, 1989. An epic story about two former Texas Rangers who undertake to move cattle from the south to Montana. Augustus McRae and Woodrow Call run into many problems on the way. The journey doesn't end without numerous problems and casualties. You could get technical here and call Tommy Lee Jones' role as a co-star rather than a sidekick. I don't want to diminish the role, but I do see the way it could be seen this way. The way the two characters support, collaborate, and complement each other, even in their stoic tough guy way, is beautiful to see. The level of commitment and friendship clearly runs deep and true to Western tradition. Dean Martin as Dude in Rio Bravo, 1959, a western directed and produced by Howard Hawks, starring John Wayne, Dean Martin, Ricky Nelson, Angie Dickinson, Walter Brennan, and Ward Bond, starring Wayne as a Texas sheriff who arrests the brother of a powerful local rancher for murder. and then holds the man in jail until a US Marshal can arrive. Helped by a lame old man, a drunk, Dean Martin, and a young gunfighter, they hold off the rancher's gang. For those of us familiar with this film, I think we were impressed with Dean Martin's role here. A sympathetic, relatable character. We witness Wayne take a broken down, washed up individual and give him the chance to fight his demons and become a functioning member of society, friend and sidekick. Robert Mitchum as Sheriff J.P. Hurrah in El Dorado, 1966. Hired gunman Cole Thornton, John Wayne, turns down a job with Bart Jason, Ed Asner, as it would mean having to fight an old sheriff friend, Robert Mitchum. Some months later, he finds out the lawman is on the bottle, and a top gunfighter, Christopher George, is heading his way to help Jason, along with young Mississippi, James Caan, handy with a knife and now armed with a diabolical shotgun. Cole returns to help. Having just mentioned Rio Bravo, I'm sure many immediately go to El Dorado, and the obvious comparisons. Not lost on me. That's why I include El Dorado here. Early in the making of the film, Peckinpah saw this problem. There was a conscious decision to make Mitchum's character more comedic, to create more of a break from Dean's more serious take. The bathtub scene was largely Robert Mitchum's invention. Members of the crew were laughing while it was being filmed at the idea of Mitchum being embarrassed in front of a woman. Gene Wilder as Jim in Blazing Saddles, 1974. On the subject of comedic westerns, a satirical postmodernist black comedy western directed by Mel Brooks, starring Cleveland Little and Lee. I think you would agree. There's no way a movie like this could be made today. It's so wrong, it's right. Every character was amazing. It's obvious how much they enjoyed making this film. Wilder's character, Jeffrey Hunter as Martin Pauly in The Searchers, 1956, a western directed by John Ford, based on the 1954 novel by Alan LeMay, set during the Texas Native American Wars, starring John Wayne as a Civil War veteran who spends years searching for his abducted niece, Natalie Wood, along with his adopted nephew, Jeffrey Hunter. A critical and commercial success, it has come to be considered a masterpiece and one of the greatest and most influential films ever made, named the greatest American Western by the American Film Institute in 2008. If you were lucky enough to see this film when it first came out, even 10 to 15 years later, you were able to appreciate it as it was. Nowadays, it is diluted by time, and in a time with different values and norms, culturally and socially. The difficult relationship between Wayne and Hunter was actually, arguably, the center relationship of the movie. Racial, generational, and having gone through so much together, only to have the conflict come up at the critical time finding Debbie. The emotions and actions in dealing with what was going on was heart-throbbing.
That'll be the day.
Chief Dan George as Lone Watty in The Outlaw, Josie Wales, 1976. A fresh and interesting dynamic relationship for the time. Because of Chief Dan George's age, he would have trouble remembering his lines. So during takes, Clint Eastwood would begin to mouth his lines without realizing it and had to be told to stop as it would ruin the take. Eastwood said that he'd have people drill Dan George on his lines. But when it came time to shoot the scene, he'd say, "Chief, just forget about the lines. Tell me the story about the man who rode over the hill." And Dan George, who was apparently a natural storyteller, would then tell the story perfectly. Lee Marvin as Kid Shalene in Cat Ballou, 1965. Who would have seen this character coming? At his acceptance of the Oscar, Lee Marvin opened by saying, "Half of this probably belongs to a horse out in the valley somewhere." Lee Marvin earned just $30,000 for his work here. Following his Oscar win, he earned up to $1 million for Paint Your Wagon, 1969, and Monty Walsh, 1970. Lee Marvin's drunken antics kept most of the cast and crew laughing. It didn't make a fan out of Jane Fonda, who had the job of playing her character straight, while the others got to ham it up, and took her role very seriously, too seriously for Marvin, who, according to Dwayne Hickman, was always trying to joke with her and make her lighten up. Marvin's efforts to loosen her up were met with annoyance from Fonda. It didn't help their relationship either, that Marvin insulted her French fiancé, Roger Vadim, while he was visiting the location set in Colorado.
It was just fine.
Kid, your own brother.
Kid Shalene and Cat Bowler.
Laura San Giacomo as Crazy Cora in Quigley Down Under, 1990. Sharpshooter Matt Quigley is hired from America by an Australian rancher so he can shoot Aborigines. Quigley takes exception to this and leaves. The rancher tries to kill him for refusing. Quigley escapes into the bush with a woman, Crazy Cora, he rescued from some of the rancher's men and are helped by Aborigines. Quigley returns the favour before going on to destroy all his enemies. This Australian movie western had 3 top-billed stars, none of whom were Australian. Tom Selleck is from the US, Alan Rickman is English, and Laura San Giacomo is American but of Italian origin. A popular Selleck western, Crazy Cora, Laura San Giacomo's character is often overlooked, rarely mentioned, but a necessary and entertaining role that helped elevate the movie. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think in the comments. I appreciate your likes and subscribers. Hit the notification button to get my new videos. Take a look at my channel and check out my Facebook page. The links are in the description. I am Wrangler. Bye for now. See you again soon.
Interesting facts about famous people.